Virgo, the message that I have for your reading is that there are those who watch not to witness, but to weaken. They speak in riddles laced with worry, not to comfort your soul, but to disturb your peace. They point to your delay and call it defeat. They highlight your lack and call it prophecy. But what they forget is that the Lord prepares a table in the presence of enemies, not in their absence. And every eye upon you is a witness to your resurrection. Every tongue that wags becomes the trumpet of your return. They cast their spells in secret, but you are shielded in plain sight. You walk through fire and come out scented in glory. So let them monitor, let them mutter, for what God ordains no man can obstruct, and what they meant for harm will only make your crown fit tighter. What do we have at the foundation of the reading? Ace of Pentacles, Earth energy at the foundation of the reading. Okay, so there's something coming in for you, Virgo. I feel that this is something that you have been working on for quite some time now. But I was picking up these messages before your reading, which is what inspired the message that I just delivered to all of you. And it surrounded the topic of psychic baiting. Now, what this is when somebody drops some sort of oddly specific comments about your life, especially regarding things that only you would typically notice or be self-conscious about. It's like they're not just being observant, they're actually trying to bait you into over-focusing on a weakness, feeding something with fear or insecurity, lowering your vibration so their magic or their projections can actually take a root and stop you from making some sort of forward progress on your path. And this doesn't surprise me because whenever you're about to have a level up, whenever there's a big blessing that is preparing to come into your life, there's a kind of dip in the energy or a pullback, right? A pullback before something is released, sort of like a bow and arrow. I'm also feeling that this projection is the result of some sort of envy or jealousy because this Ace of Pentacles is sitting right here at the root chakra. Now, the root chakra is all connected to your stability, your foundation, right? The movement forward that you are making. And it feels like people are projecting their own lack onto you because they feel like they're going to be left behind or they feel less than you, something in this sort of realm. Also, pay attention to any sort of strangers who try to weasel their way into your life right now. Again, pointing out these sort of finer details in your life. This is definitely a kind of evil eye, right? You know, an example of this is somebody who wins a game. And then somebody else comes along and says, oh, you didn't score as many points as I thought you were going to score, right? So they're trying to burst somebody's bubble here, right? They're trying to spin negativity into the equation where you are otherwise very satisfied and winning. It's a crafted attempt to make you feel like you're not good enough or you should be doing something better. But it's coming from people who aren't even doing what you are doing themselves, right? They haven't been down the path that you're on, but they think that their advice is somehow valuable inside of that space. What do we have at the sacral, please? Just as I suspected. And look who decided to show up to the party. The devil, right there at the sacral, okay? So this is confirming that what we're saying here is right on target because this devil energy coming out the sacral, your sacral is all connected to your passion, your creativity, right? What you desire and the fact that you're going out and making it a reality. It's like something here is trying to keep you shackled. Shackled to the past is what I just heard. There's something here or someone that wants to keep you small, and they're going to minimize all of your wins to do so. I'm also hearing something about the demons that you've quelled and left in the past trying to re-enter into your life. Now, this doesn't have to be just people, okay? This can be behavioral patterns, mindsets, different sorts of addictions, whether they're small or whether they're big. It just seems to be that there's something that wants to try and repeat itself on you to stop this forward movement, right? And again, this is something that is very common right before you're getting ready to have a rise. So if anything, when you feel this energy, when you notice this, right? When you notice that there's something up, just know that that is a clear indication of what's to come, right? It's in that moment that you need to catch yourself and say, oh, right, this is happening, right? This is all because of where I'm getting ready to go in my life. This is the pullback. It's like those demons that you quelled in your past coming back and saying to you, are you sure? Remember the good times, right? Sure you don't want that old thing back? Virgo, I feel that the things that have truly held you back in life have to do with different kinds of attachments, right? Or maybe some sort of shame. But these are things that you've overcome. Okay, I just heard that some of you are in the process of this now, and some of you are getting ready to step onto this path. So obviously, there's going to be different Virgos and different parts of this timeline. So you place yourself in accordance with the timeline as you see fit. But whatever the case here, I truly feel that this is what has held you back from your highest success, your highest happiness, your highest timeline, is this balancing that you have had to bring to this sacral chakra. When your sacral chakra is blocked, this is going to be an energy where fear is soaking up your creativity, right? And an overactive sacral is going to be an energy that sees you existing in spaces where you're dealing with these very overly emotional, very toxic kinds of connections. And obviously, this is going to be in love for a lot of you. But it's as if Spirit helps you to bring that area of your life into balance, which creates this forward momentum, this push forward in these areas of your life that we're seeing now. The Ace of Pentacles paired with the Devil is telling us that Spirit, the divine, is saying to you, hey, we're ready. We're ready to elevate you to the next level. Look at all this work you've put in. You're going to need this Ace of Pentacles, which is the divine supplying you with all the tools you need to function inside of that space on your path, heading towards your destiny. And this is all a result of you having quelled said demons from your past, which we all have. We've all done this, right? This is all a part of living out a human existence inside this third density. We are tasked with finding where the devil exists in our own lives and plucking him out. And then right on the bottom of the deck, we have the Fool. So there's a new beginning here for you, and the Empress, okay? A very abundant new beginning. Some of you don't even really, you have no idea how monumental this is about to be, Virgo. I still feel like there's a lot that's being hidden from you. You're not quite over the threshold yet. I'm seeing you in my mind's eye walking toward this door in the sky, right? It's as if that door in the sky is the portal into this new timeline. And there's these energies that are creeping up behind you, trying to pull you backwards, right? Pull you back into the timeline that you're preparing to graduate on from. See, the devil tasks specific things in your life, again, whether it's behavioral patterns, addictions, mindsets, or literal people, to keep you restricted inside that space. See, the devil cannot have you evolving and aligning with a higher version of yourself, because when this happens, this is a point for the divine and a loss, a big loss for the devil. What do we have of the solar plexus, please? Too many cards. What do we have of the solar plexus? Okay, gonna take, it's too many cards. 3 Pentacles. Knight of Swords. Yeah, there's a lot of forward momentum here. Too many cards. I feel like a lot of you are about to receive some sort of offer or contract. This is the divine working through the situations in your everyday waking life to bring forward this blessing for you. Magician, Emperor, Ace of Cups. Further highlighting what I'm saying here, you're manifesting this new beginning. Okay, what do we have, the solar plexus, Spirit? Wow. 8 of Swords, Gemini energy at the solar plexus. You know, I saw this 8 of Swords in my mind's eye when I was speaking about how you're heading towards that door in the sky and these energies are coming up behind you, right? Whatever that represents for you. They want to keep you in that restricted space. They can't have you graduating on to this higher version of yourself. 8 of Swords at the solar plexus. Now, your solar plexus is all connected to your confidence, your personal power. But there's an energy here that wants you to feel, well, it's like an energy that wants you to feel beneath it, right? It needs you underneath it so it can feed off of you. See, where you're going is going to see you elevate above this energy out of this timeline. Now, when we're speaking about timelines, this isn't you just magically appearing on a new earth, okay? It's all about mindset. So your mindset can actually shift the way you interface with your reality. That's what a timeline shift is. You go from a timeline where you were maybe stuck or powerless to certain things or circumstances in your life to finally overcoming that, regaining a sense of control, and stepping into a reality where those things are no longer holding you back. Virgo, I see you again in my mind's eye as you're walking towards that door and you have this chain around your ankle, right? I can practically hear it, and it's broken. The chain's broken. You've been freed. The things that shackled you to this lower vibrational timeline can no longer hold you. You've become too strong, which is all a result of you stepping into your personal power, taking control and saying no more. I feel that you've gotten to a point in your life where you truly understand that the only one holding you back from anything is yourself. Yes, people say things. Yes, people do things. But at the end of the day, all of those things are only given power by the way you decide to interface with them and the way you decide to let them actually affect you. See, when you get on the other side of this, you look back and you start to realize how truly cowardice some of these energies are. Obviously, if they're coming from other people, only a coward would try to hold somebody back in this capacity. But it says more about them than it does about you because it shows they're too weak to take control of their own life. So they want you to lose control of yours to make them feel better about their own lack of growth. This Ace of Pentacles can also be seen as the kind of key, the key to release yourself from this Ace of Swords that unlocks the padlock to that shackle. What do we have at the heart, please? Empress. Okay, so we saw the Empress from this deck, and now we're seeing it from this deck. Now, the Empress is the most abundant energy in the tarot, and it's coming out right there at that heart position. I feel that the things that once made you reactive, the things that would have seen you quite possibly self-sabotaging merely by interfacing with them, can no longer hold you back. I feel that you've made peace with your past. I feel that you have made peace with your demons. I feel that you have made peace with all that ever held you back. And all of this is a result of you seeing that it's all of those things that is actually empowering you in the here and now. It was all a part of your path. I'm also hearing that your faith has grown stronger as well. And this goes right back to what I was speaking about at the beginning of the reading about psychic baiting, right? I feel that where you are at in your life, Virgo, your faith has become so strong that you understand that every step you take is exactly how it should be. You're not too concerned with the metrics of things. All you're concerned about is doing what the divine has guided you to do in that moment, whatever that may be. I'm also hearing something here about you always giving something your best, and that's truly all that matters. Again, I just feel that there's people here, there's something here that seems to be overly critical, or yeah, I'm picking up this jealous energy again, right there at that heart chakra. You know, an example of this is you overcoming some sort of grief in your life, some sort of heartache, which created emotional blocks for you. And then somebody coming along and saying, oh, you don't care about that anymore? Well, you should, right? People who just want to see you in a cycle of pain because it makes them feel better about themselves. I just heard this Empress energy is your birthright, male or female. Not only is this the most abundant card in the tarot, but it's also the most beautiful. I mean, you're attracting animals, children, Mother Nature. It's just all around you. There's growth. And this is the energy you're coming from. See, the devil, right, doesn't want this. Does this look like something the devil wants? No. The devil wants this. And we have the Ace of Pentacles again on the bottom of this deck. And see how the divine is sort of gripping onto this coin, right? This coin just represents your manifestations, what you're being blessed with. But it's like they're They're keeping it safe for you, right? And see how there's that path? It's like the divine is saying, hey, you just need to come down this path, right? And it's like, this is what's through that path. What do we have at the throat, please, Spirit? Temperance. Sag energy at the throat. See, a lot of what I'm picking up here as well for you, Virgo, has to do with your communication, the way you're expressing yourself. This is what is allowing you to pull through this, I just heard new success for you. So place that as it makes sense with your current timeline. But there's an energy here that wants to suppress this, wants you to be fearful of speaking some sort of truth or merely speaking a manifestation into the ethers and making it a reality. But with this temperance at the throat, this is a futile effort. Okay, whatever this is that you are heading towards, you're going to pull this off. But there might be some bumps in the road. There's going to be some twists and turns. There's no smooth path towards any great success, Virgo. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a great success, would it? There's typically not a whole lot of significance to anything that is easy to attain. Because if it's easy to attain, that means everybody has it, which doesn't make it a rarity. See, a rarity is something significant. It's something that is not easy to attain. But what you are going toward here, you've had to go through a spiritual battle to pull this off. This has not been any sort of cakewalk by any means. What you need to understand here, Virgo, is that this path that you're aligning with is your true north. It is your purpose. And there's going to be those moments when it feels as though your reality is closing in around you. But what that is a kind of pressure that the enemy is bringing into your life to get you to give up. As long as you're prepared for this, as long as you know that this is to be expected and that you're aware of what's happening around you when you step into that space, you have nothing to worry about. But when that energy comes and applies that pressure, if you succumb to that, if you fold and you just give up, then the enemy wins. The enemy cannot touch you, cannot hurt you in any way, shape, or form unless you allow it to. See, the devil needs us to self-sabotage, right? So he'll get in your head. He'll mess with your wiring. He'll start interfacing with the people around you if they're of a lower vibration. He'll use them as vessels to come for you. This is how this works. But as long as you're aware and you know what to expect, it will be the difference between you giving up and self-sabotaging and you recognizing this and it absolutely blowing your mind, because everything I'm saying to you here is truth. What do we have at the third eye, please? Justice. Libra energy at the third eye. The scales are preparing to tip in your favor, Virgo. Your vision is about to manifest into your everyday waking life. I feel that this warning that we have here is the final step. Okay, I'm hearing that it's the final step for those of you who have been working through this space, right? Obviously, if you're just now starting out on this path, this is what you can expect to come your way as you navigate through this energy. This is a sort of roadmap of the energies that I'm picking up in relation to this new timeline that you're preparing to align with. The most important thing that you need to focus on right now is your connection with spirit. Whatever that means for you, you need to up the ante, okay? As long as you have that channel nice and open, nice and clear, you'll know what's up when there's certain things headed your way. That is your defense system, and it can be the one thing that makes you or breaks you when it comes to these kinds of situations. So don't take that lightly, because the first thing that the devil is going to come for is your connection to source. He's going to do things in your everyday waking life. He's going to bombard you with all sorts of distractions, so you don't have time, so you're too tired to commune with spirit. And when you feel that way, you need to get up and do it anyway. The devil wants to sell you a dream, and he's going to use any means necessary to get you to take the bait. It goes back to what I said again about psychic baiting, the devil working through people, whether they know this or not, okay? See, this is the thing as well about low-level forms of possession, right? When people are living their lives in a specific way that lowers their vibration, it opens them up to this sort of possession, right? The devil says, okay, well, Johnny over there, he's been kind of living his life in kind of a low vibrational way. We can go ahead and use him as a vessel, right? To get to Tina over here. And Johnny doesn't know what's going on, right? He's just a vessel for some demonic spirit to enter into him and use him to get to Tina. You know, a perfect example of this is alcohol, spirits, right? As we all know, alcohol changes you. And if you're not able to control yourself in that space, then you're opening yourself up to be used as a vessel by these energies. Now, I'm not speaking about everybody who drinks alcohol. I know that there's many people out there that can have a few glasses of wine and be perfectly fine, okay? But there's also a lot of people who can't. And that's just an example, all right? Because it's something that we can all relate to. There's many different ways that the devil can use you. Right on the bottom of the deck, we've got the Eight of Swords again, okay? And see how it looks like, well, right here, it's like you're trapped, you're restricted inside that space. And now here, you're being removed. What do we have at the crown, please? Nine of Pentacles, Virgo, that is your energy at the crown. Perfect. So now we're seeing a culmination of all of this take place, and I see you on the other side. This is you having defeated these energies, having crossed through that doorway in the sky. And now you're taking this pentacle that the divine gave you and you're multiplying it. Whatever that means for you. I feel for a lot of you, it has to do with an idea, a project, a business. Even if it's in its infancy right now, this is what's possible here if this resonates with you. And if you're willing to put the work in to do this, this is not easy by any means, like I mentioned. It's a great success because it's not easy to attain. But the one thing that is making all of this possible is your connection to Source. Nine of Pentacles at the crown, which is all about your connection to the divine. Your insight. See, this energy here, whoever this may be in your life, however that shows up in your life, presents itself as a kind of false light, tries to disconnect you from spirit and take their advice, right? Goes back to what I said about people trying to advise you on spaces that they have never been in themselves. What do we have at the foundation, please? Page of Swords underneath that Ace of Pentacles at the root chakra. Okay, so this Page of Swords is confirming everything I said to be true at the beginning of the reading, right? This psychic baiting, right? The devil working through people to try and instill fear, insecurities, to lower your vibration just long enough so their magic sticks to you and stops you from being able to make any more progress forward on your path towards said manifestation. Page of Swords is all about gossip, prying eyes, right? Really confirms what I said about strangers who just point out these sort of finer details of your life. Things that only you should be concerned about, or maybe even things that you weren't really thinking about. Again, psychic baiting. I love that phrase because it just really, well, it's like an umbrella term. There's so many things that can fall underneath that. But it allows you to really compartmentalize and put a name to, rather, what this is. I'm also picking up something here surrounding people. I just heard pouring salt on your wounds, right? So I feel that this is connecting to what I said in regards to people telling you that you should be upset about something that you no longer even really care about anymore. You've grown past it. You're using the pain from that situation to empower you now. Now, the root chakra, when balanced, this is you feeling very grounded, very safe and secure. But when it's blocked, right, this is when you feel that instability in your life. You're focusing on all of the things that have gone wrong and can go wrong. There's a lot of fear flooding through. The psychic baiting has lowered your vibration and is now running rampant inside your auric field, spreading its spiritual sickness in all parts of your life. What do we have at the sacral, please? Wow. Seven of Wands. Unbelievable. You know, the Seven of Wands from the deck that I use right here, it's the same image, right? There's just two images on the one card. I'll show you when we get there. But it actually says black magic on it, right? Which goes back and really confirms what I said about this psychic baiting being a kind of magic, right? See, black magic isn't always people sitting around on a pentagram and candles and casting spells, right? This is actually a much more effective way of doing it because they're messing with your energy merely by conversing with you. They're using words as weapons, casting spells with the tongue, word witchery. That's what this is here. And again, whether they know this or not, or they're just being used as a vessel, like I mentioned, you have to call it out when you experience this. Don't be a pushover. Put people in their place because that is the best chance that they have of actually waking up to their behavior and quite possibly doing something about this. But the Seven of Wands here, this is an energy that wants to make you feel overwhelmed and discouraged. Exactly what we've been picking up here. This is that energy that wants to come back from the past and say, hey, remember the good times? You sure you want to move on without me? Right? This is that old thing, right? Whatever that represents for you. Person, thing, mindset, behavioral pattern, right? There's so many different ways this can show up. Typically speaking, it's going to be many things, right, that sort of accumulate together to create the blockage for you. But this energy that we have at that sacral position, that's a very dark energy, okay? They need you consumed by fear. They need you feeling like you just can't do it. It's just too hard, right? That's where they need you. So they can continue to vampirize off of you, drain you of your light, and keep you stuck on this lower vibrational timeline. And as I'm looking at this devil, it's like the devil is holding this big sort of, well, it looks like those are all minions out there, right? The devil's like, Virgo is getting ready to break free. We cannot have this. I'm sending all of you out into the field to stop Virgo by any means necessary, right? And then it shows up as this, right? Seven of Wands. Here they come. Hey, Virgo, remember back then? Sure you want to do that, Virgo? I wouldn't do that if I was you. What do we have? The solar plexus, please. I only take these cards as uprights because I automatically read them as reversals from this particular deck because they represent these lower vibrational energies, okay? So the King of Pentacles, red in its negative polarity, is further highlighting this very greedy energy. It's like there's somebody inside your energy. Coworker, friend, family member, ex, right? Look at them. Their hands on their hips. Over my dead body will I allow Virgo to step into their greatest happiness and success. That should be mine. This is a very ruthless energy, very controlling as well. Air, Leo, Earth, the shadow side of those energies. This is an energy with this Eight of Swords stacked with this King of Pentacles that is watching you rise and is highly threatened by this for whatever reason. It's like the divine brings through this Ace of Pentacles, right? And now you have to go through literal hell to get to this Empress energy here with that Ace of Pentacles in hand, right? It's like waking up in the middle of hell. You go through an awakening, not realizing that you've been in hell this entire time. And now the divine's like, okay, you awake now? You ready? We're about to show you how to get out of there and get back on your path. Sometimes you need to go through a storm to get back to your path, Virgo. When people go through the process of awakening and ascending and all the things that come with aligning with this higher timeline, they think it's just something that is peaceful. It's just all smooth sailing, but it's anything but that. It's the complete opposite. You know, I mentioned that great successes come with a fight, right? They come with a lot of work. And this is the same thing here. These two things run side by side. You removing yourself from this space is what allows you to access this success. Look how dark this energy is right here, right? And then how beautiful and bright it becomes all right here. Look how abundant all of this is. Peaceful and abundant. See, the peace is on the other side of the warfare. You wake up and you go through the warfare. The goal is peace, but you got to go and get it. Peace comes after war. Think about that. Peace wouldn't even exist without war, but that's just life, right? It's not because anything isn't the way it's supposed to be. Evolution is violent. The birthing process is violent, but it's all of these things that lead to something beautiful and extraordinary. So if you can take on that sort of way of thinking about this, it will help you to push forward without questioning too much, right? See, the whole key is to just get on path. Don't question the divine. You know, I quite often see comments underneath videos of people saying things about how everything is falling apart in their life. And when I see those comments, I immediately think to myself, great, that's good. That means that you're on your way towards something. But those people, they don't understand, right? They just think that the universe, the divine, source, God, whoever you look to as your supreme being is against them. They don't understand that inside this third density, we're in a kind of vibrational prison cell and we must wake up from that. And to get out of that space, we have to go through spiritual warfare. This energy. Too many cards. What do we have of the heart? Too many cards. What do we have of the heart, please, Spirit? Justice again, but read differently from this deck, okay? See, there's two images on either side of this deck, negative polarity and a positive polarity. Demons, angels, and then we bridge it with this energy at the heart. Here's that shame coming through again, okay? With this justice card here. And it's right there at that heart chakra. I'm also hearing something about you having done a lot of work on yourself, or you're in the throes of doing this right now. And, you know, I've mentioned this before. I've gone through this. You start to improve certain areas of your life, right? And where you think people would actually be supportive and happy, they're anything but. They actually question you. They make you feel like there's something wrong with you. They gaslight you because you've entered into territory that they have never treaded themselves. And they don't like that because it forces them to have to look at themselves in the mirror and focus on everything inside of them that they need to heal. Pay attention to that. And if you pick that up, even in the slightest from anybody around you, I highly recommend you do something about that, okay? Because you do not want to surround yourself with people like that. They'll drag you down and they'll hold you back. You don't owe anything to anybody but your own happiness. And those who truly love you and support you will recognize that and support that, and will never ask anything of you without seeing that you provided it to yourself first. And then we have the Seven of Wands again. So we have it twice, but from two different decks, okay? Or two different polarities. Negative polarity, positive polarity. It says right there, liberation, okay? So you made it. You made it out of hell, so to speak, right? Whatever hell represents for you. This Seven of Wands is really speaking about how you've taken a stand. You've persevered. You've stood on business is what I've just heard here. And you've defied these energies, these people, these principalities. And when you do this, you begin to see something that you never could have thought would ever happen. And what that is are these energies fleeing because you see them for who they truly are now. And that scares them more than anything. Because this entire campaign has unfolded in a way that it's taken a very long time for you to actually see the source of it, what was at the core. This was all done in the shadows. What do we have at the throat, please? Too many cards. Just saw the Justice card again. Too many cards. Hermit card, Moon. What do we have at the throat? Too many cards. Page of Pentacles, perfect. Okay, so now this Ace of Pentacles is representing the divine saying to you, hey, we have this for you, but this is what you need to do, okay? Now, this Page of Pentacles is you now putting action behind the plan. You have made it through all of this energy, and you have stepped into this new timeline with this Page of Pentacles, which represents the first step of manifestation. So this could be the divine saying, hey, this is possible, okay? We're going to hold on to it. Remember when we saw the Ace of Pentacles from the other deck? The divine was gripping onto it, saying, hey, you have to come down this path. We're going to keep this safe for you. This confirms all of that because now you're through all this energy. You're stepping onto this path and you're beginning this forward journey toward this Ace of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles here is the energy of seeking abundance. It's the first step of manifestation. And it can also represent a new job, a new project, something that you're heading towards. So it's all here, okay? Right underneath Temperance, which is you on your path, your purpose, in mission, so to speak. What do we have the third eye, please? Eight of Pentacles. Okay, so there you are again, Virgo. Both the 8 and 9 of Pentacles represent your energy, okay? And it says right here, intellectual talent provides knowledge. So, and see how it says God the teacher, right? So this is God, the divine spirit, providing you with all the tools you need to get working inside of this space. 8 of Pentacles is all about you engaging with whatever this is here. It's now coming to pass. At that third eye position, so your vision is becoming a reality. Okay, what do we have at the crown to close this out for Virgo, please, Spirit? Two of Cups, Cancer energy at the crown to close out the reading. The swiftly hearkening God, fruition, provides expansive intelligence and gives the grace of God. Now, this Two of Pentacles is giving me this energy of calibration, right? It's like everything is coming into alignment. Everything is harmonizing now. Yeah, I just heard divine calibration, okay? And that's also at that crown position. So I feel that this divine calibration is between you and your connection with Spirit. It's your connection with Spirit that makes all of this possible. So I hope that I was able to provide you with some useful guidance to navigate this energy. And I feel that you know what you need to do, Virgo, okay? Just to reiterate, you need to work on your connection with Source. Commune in that space. It's going to be that provides you with all the tools you need to make it through this spiritual warfare right here, okay? However that shows up in your everyday waking life. All right, Virgo, this is what I have for all of you. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. Information for personal readings can be found down below. And if this reading resonated with you, drop me a heart and or a comment, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Take care.